What mode are you in?
Yeah, we've seen it already. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Let's Play Mode. It's time for the third mode event, since the second one ended so quickly. We finally met Tuba, and was thrown out of the party before the party could really even get started. We did find out something interesting, though.
Welcome to Mode.
Yeah. Okay, so what we found out last time was that the man who greatly resembles David Hasselhoff is a cop, and he wanted us to be his agent to find out information about Vito Brevis and his cadre. Well, the chat decided that they really liked where that was going, and they wanted to continue on even though this is the third party crasher at the third mode event. We were going to start the party the exact same way we started it last time, with the same conversations with Charity and the cop. So, one moment as we fast forward through that. Alright, so we got back to where we were last time. We are now the agent of our cop friend, and we are trying our best to find out information about the activities going on at the mode event, whatever those activities might be. Because the cop did not seem to have a very good idea himself. Let's go around the room and see what we can find. Alright, here's Ed. This time, the chat decided that they did not want to have anything to do with Ed. Just wanted to stay far away. That makes sense. The only thing we learned from Ed when we talked to him is that we needed a dome, and that Real has domes, and we already knew that. And of course, it was talking to Ed that got us thrown out in the first place. Alright, so the chat decided that the next thing that we should do is go backstage to the manager's office. But maybe first we should take a little detour to the dressing room. Yes, please go ahead and make Nicki Minaj jokes, because that's what everyone does when they see her. I've heard that many times now. But yeah, sometimes we see someone hanging around in the dressing room, just not doing really anything in particular.
No, they didn't show up. Yes, it was a featured act. That's right. It was a whole circus thing with the contortionists and chainsaws, those guys swinging things from body parts. Well, I thought you were supposed to be booking this stuff for me. Well, I don't care how inflamed it is. You could at least make a few phone calls. Well, yeah, I'm filling with a whole lot of local stuff. Well, I thought you and Vito had a relationship. Well, yeah, I hate him too, but this is business. I gotta go. Yeah, well, the same to you, and I hope it festers. I'm up to my naughty bits in the most insanely organized show I've ever been involved with. 2 minutes to my next runway catastrophe if I don't get back there and hold their wet little hands, and I have no idea who in the hell you are supposed to be. Now, how do you think that makes me feel?
We remember how our conversation with the manager went last time. We seemed to be getting along well, seemed to be making friends. However, he had to throw us out because he just was running out of time and needed to get to the next act. The chat decided they wanted to see what would happen if we went the completely opposite direction, if we tried to antagonize the stage manager, tried to get in his face. He asked us, how does that make him feel? Last time we went with green to try to encourage him. This time we're going to go with red and give him some of our sass.
Oh, now I'm trembling with fear. Well, maybe you're a lone killer stalking overworked stage managers sending ripples of fear through the theater and fashion communities. Oh, the horror of it all. No, really. While you may very well be lovely enough to be a model, I know for a fact that I did not hire you for this evening's show, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave. It's bedlam back here, and I can't have you adding to the chaos. Clear? Clear?
Well, this time he still wants us to leave. However, that's kind of interesting. He mentioned you might be good-looking enough to be a model. That's the first time anyone's made any reference to what we might look like. But then again, considering how sarcastic everything else he said right there was, maybe that was too. It's hard to say. The chat decided that we were not going to be brushed off, that we were going to continue to get in the poor stage manager's face, because really he doesn't deserve it. But we're going to give it to him anyway.
Let me see if I understand this correctly. You plan to disrupt my life, is that it? You know I could kill you. It wouldn't be my first. I'd just dump your body in that laundry chute over there. Nothing simpler. I'm scaring you, right?
So now this conversation is going very differently than it did the first time. We are definitely not making friends here. He is threatening to kill us. So, the third-party crasher, whose decisions are being made by a conglomeration of 400 yelling people, decided that we were going to continue to push this as far as we could go. Is he scaring us? We're going to say no. No, he's not scaring us. What's he going to do? Is he actually going to kill us and throw our body into a laundry chute? Well, I guess we'll have to find out.
I don't think you have a good conception of just how much danger you might actually be in. What do you think, I'm some sort of weak-kneed artiste without a muscle in my body? I'll have you know I'm toned, I'm trimmed, and I'm cruel when I want to be. And right now, you're going to get lucky. You're going to live.
So it ended with us getting thrown out again, but on a different note. Last time we got thrown out because he was out of time. This time he got thrown out just because he didn't like us. And I mentioned this in the stream, but I love that line. I'm toned, I'm trimmed, and I'm cruel when I want to be. Could put that on a t-shirt. We could try going back in.
No, I tell you, I couldn't believe it. No, I'm not kidding. She was actually wearing it with the hanger still in it. She thought it was some sort of high-tech statement. What? Just a minute. No. You are nothing but a distracting and disruptive influence on what is already a disastrous and destructive situation, and I can see that I'm going to have to lock this door no matter what the fire marshal has to say about it. Goodbye.
Yeah, we just got thrown right out. Same video clip that we got the first time. No different. I mean, I guess it works whichever way we went. Whether we made friends or made enemies. That clip kind of follows both of them, I suppose. So nothing else for us to do back here. These doors are still locked since we're still on Disc 1. Still early in the mode event. We continue to go left to take a look around. Oh, and there's Vito. Vito himself. We never really got to talk to him much, still. I mean, he is the head of the party. He's the host. He's the man that we are now actually investigating. And we still haven't really gotten to talk to him. However, the chat decided that it would not be in our best interest to confront Vito right now without a dome. I guess they were kind of precautious at this point, since we did get thrown out once, and we have seen that it is possible for that to happen. Previously, we didn't really know if that could, but now we do. So they wanted to stay away from Vito until the point where we could get a dome. And we know now where we can get a dome. It's Real, and we know where Real is. He's hanging out in the back. Not here. There he is. And this is definitely where the chat wanted to be. This is the man we need to talk to.
You're not invited.
We remember how the first mode event went. At that point, the chat decided that they did not want to talk to this man who seemed to be very hostile towards us. It's not a friendly greeting. He's right, though. We are not invited. We do know, however, that he is the man with the domes, so we are going to confront him about it. The chat decided that we weren't going to leave the conversation. However, we were going to be neutral. We were going to be blue on this.
I don't mean here with me. To sit down, to open your mouth, whatever. I mean the party, the place, the event. You're missing something. You're incomplete.
All right. So, things might be looking up. He said that it's not that we weren't invited to talk to him, so maybe he's open to having a conversation. He said we're missing something, and obviously he has noticed that we don't have a dome. The chat decided that we were going to be positive. We wanted to make friends with Rial. After all, he has the most important thing that we need.
Who the hell are you? You don't have a pin? No dome? No nothing? That's the only rule around here. You're a party crasher. I should call Tuba. He's our bouncer. He gets rid of people like you.
The chat was a bit nervous at this point at the mention of Tuba, since we know that the threat of Tuba is a very real one now. If we continue pressing on, will Tuba show up? Maybe we should leave. But the chat thought that since we know Rial has the domes, and we know we have to get one, and this is the earliest point in time that we can get one, we want to get one as early as we can to see how that might affect how things go later on. So we were going to continue pushing on despite the threat of being tubed again. So we went with blue, just kind of shrugged at Rial.
You're not telling me anything.
He's right. We are playing it very close. We are trying not to reveal too much because we really don't know what Rial's thinking. He's a hard one to read. As we found out in the first stream, the chat decided that we were going to go green, go positive, try not to make him mad at us.
I don't know. I need more.
What is it that Rial needs? What? More of what? Because we don't really know what we're saying to him. But he seems to be maybe a little bit interested in whatever it was we said to him, and he said he wanted more, so let's give him more of what we just gave him, and give him a little more green.
You don't know who you are. You're lost. And I have to decide if I should save your sorry ass. Pop quiz. What's your favorite color?
A very relevant question. Hopefully our favorite color is either red, blue, or green, or else we might have a problem. See, if your favorite color was yellow, what would you even do? So, that's kind of a hard question to read. And he's smiling at us, because he knows that. He's smiling because he knows that we're trying to think about what kind of answer could he possibly want from this. This is kind of an interesting choice. I mentioned back at the beginning of the LP that there can be some choices that we make where the results will be random, a random choice between some video clips, and that can dramatically affect where we go and what our paths are. This question is one of them. There are two choices we can make that will lead to a random choice, and one that does not. That one choice is the right one. So the chat had to determine what would be the right color to tell Rial what is our favorite color. The chat decided, since Rial is wearing blue, we're going to tell him blue. And fortunately, the chat was right.
Hey, I don't care about the color. That was as lifeless an answer as I've ever heard. I don't have time for you. Sorry.
She's saying that he doesn't have time for us, but the conversation hasn't ended. We could leave if we wanted to, because if we continue to talk to him, hey, maybe that will incur the wrath of Tuba. The chat thought, however, we had to stay the course, we had to be determined to get a dome from this guy. So we went with red to express our displeasure.
Maybe you deserve a second chance. Then again, maybe not. Why don't you go away and come back later when I'm in a better mood?
The conversation still has not ended. Rial seems to be trying to end it, but we're still here. The mood bar is still active. We can still respond. And the chat decided that we were not going to bow down and slink away because Rial says so. So we're going to get in his face about it. Give him some red.
You're much too eager.
I'm not sure what that means. Maybe Rial realizes what we're here for. Maybe he knows that we're here for a dome. And he seems to think that we need to maybe play it cooler. That we are a bit too obvious in what we're trying to do. Still, the conversation is still going. He has not ended it. And the chat was determined that they would not end it either. So, if that was being too eager, they decided to go with green and see how that would go.
We'll find out soon enough. You know those guys. They never blend in. Yeah, I think he's here. Probably trying to get into the mode machine. He'll never do it. They're not bright enough. They've tried before. Just one more for the stack. He's a dead duck. As dead as they come. That guy couldn't blend in if he wanted to. Yeah. No, I don't know everyone here. But that's of little importance. Tuba will take care of him. If not, I will. I surely will.
So that was interesting. That was a bit more plot-heavy than most of the responses we've been getting. He's ignoring us. He's talking on his phone. But he mentioned on his phone that there is someone here that doesn't fit in, that is probably trying to get into the mode machine, that they might have to take care of. The chat figured that he was talking about our cop friend, which seems likely. I mean, when we saw him in the first stream, he seemed like someone who wasn't really fitting in. And if he is investigating Vito, he probably is going to be trying to uncover secrets. Are there secrets in the mode machine? I think this was the first time we've heard that that might be the case. Up to now, we really have no idea what the mode machine is or what its purpose is, but apparently people have tried to get into it, but no one's been smart enough to. However, to be concerned of what's happening at hand, the conversation still hasn't ended. And the chat, some people thought that we should go and warn the cop. Others thought that we should stay and continue to press Rial about the dome. In the end, we decided to go blue, sort of stand there and just passive-aggressively watch Rial as he's talking on the phone trying to ignore us.
Still here. That counts for something. I guess I'll cut you some slack.
All right. It seems that we've made a breakthrough. It turns out Rial was just testing our persistence. It seems that's something that he admires. He was looking to see if we were going to give up. The chat was happy about this, and they went with green.
Sit down. First of all, you should have one of these. Now, you pin it on like this. But I don't need one. You do. Oh, relax. I'm just studying you. Trying to get a reading.
All right. And the chat was very happy because we succeeded at one of our objectives. We got a dome, and we got it pretty early in the game. So hopefully this will open up some possibilities of what we can do later on. By the way, I mentioned before that when Rial asked us our favorite color, blue was the right choice. Why was it the right choice? Because I'm pretty sure that once you answer blue, after that, it doesn't matter what you actually answer, you eventually will get a dome, as long as you don't leave the conversation, which is what the game is trying to make you do. As long as you don't, as long as you're persistent, you'll get there. At least I think so. Not to talk too much about how the game works, but it seems, from what I've looked at in the files, that that's the case. So, answering blue was the right thing to do. But now Rial is examining us, trying to get a reading, whatever that means. But we did just get a dome. We're very happy about that, so the chat decided we were going to give him some positivity, give him some green.
I think you're my enemy. That's okay. You can judge someone by their enemies. And believe me, I am the very best.
Rial seems perceptive. He seemed that way in the first stream as well, and that could make him dangerous. Especially if we really are his enemy, if we are aligned with the cop, who is trying to take these guys down, then it might be dangerous to make Rial an enemy. The chat decided that we were not going to give anything away. We were going to try to remain as stoic as possible and give some blue.
Doesn't matter what you say. I'll be judging you by the danger that you pose. And from where I'm sitting right now, it doesn't seem that great.
So it looks like Rial is saying that even though he believes that we are his enemy, he will not make a move against us since he doesn't think we actually pose any kind of danger to him. It would be kind of interesting to know what he would do if he felt that we were a danger. And what would we have to do to make him think that? The chat decided that they did not really like not being taken seriously by Rial, so we were going to give him some red about that.
Careful. You're gonna make me like you. And you can love your enemies, but you can never ever like them.
Interesting philosophy. I do like, that is one of my favorite lines in the game. Careful, you're gonna make me like you. The chat, I think, was kind of liking Rial as well, so we were gonna go with green on this.
It's been pleasant as hell, but I've got some important business to attend to, so I'm gonna need some space. Bye. I mean, bye.
Alright, Rial forcing the end of that conversation, but that's okay, because we got what we wanted, got what we needed. Got a dome very early on. So, we now can see what might become possible now that we have that. While Rial talks on his phone to whoever that was. And look who it is! It's Mia Mode Machine. The first time we talked to her in the first stream, it went very oddly. And we know that going to the sauna with her was something that made Vito very upset with us, even though nothing really happened. The chat decided that they did want to talk to Mia and see how it might go this time.
The immersion, it's helical, it's regressive. The DMT is reintegrating with the pyroglutamate to create a kind of elastic envelope that is causing me to blur and tatter around the edges. It's like the shadow of lightning on mica. It's like... Are you trying to get my attention?
The chat decided that we were going to give her a little bit of attitude, act a bit above her, say no, we're not trying to get her attention, even though we totally were.
I'm accosted by a stranger. This person is not familiar to me. There's a certain immediate animal attraction I cannot deny. They're watching me record my diary, apparently unembarrassed to be eavesdropping on such personal activity. I am imagining them naked.
Yeah, that's how it went last time, too. The chat was read on this, on her entering her diary right in front of us.
Do you want to sit?
The chat did want to sit. This just seems like a recreation of the first stream. We're handling Mia the exact same way.
So sit. There's something I want you to read. Tell me what you think.
Yes, the monkey lyrics.
It's a lyric for a song I'm writing. I'm still working on it. Okay, that's enough. So what you think? This is a test.
So the chat remembered how it went last time, how this was a question that was kind of a trap, in which the first stream decided to compliment her about it, but it turned out that she actually was looking for an honest opinion, and she knew that the lyrics were terrible. The chat remembered this, so decided to tell her that those lyrics are terrible, and she should feel like an awful human being for writing those.
Yeah, right. Cooking in a pressure pot. That's as bad as it gets. Well, you passed that test. So I think you're ready for something a little more adventurous. Check this out.
This is different now from last time.
It's part of a novel I'm working on, kind of surreal. You look like you're enjoying. You don't have to memorize it. Okay, that's enough. Opinions?
The chat decided that they were going to be neutral on this. They weren't really sure how they wanted to respond to this. This seems like something that was a bit more, has a bit more thought put into it, perhaps, than the monkey lyrics. However, it also does not seem like a quote like last time, so they went with blue on this one.
No. No halfway measures. No partial opinions. No hedging of bets.
All right, Mia's calling us out on that. She's saying that we are trying to avoid giving an opinion, a decision on this. She doesn't like that. She wants us to give her our real opinion on what we just read. Is it good? Is it bad? Is this another test, or was this something that she honestly feels is good and would like a compliment about? The chat was torn, but we decided we were going to tell her that it was terrible.
Well, isn't this boring? Come on, let's dance.
All right, she seemed a bit put off. Maybe she really did want a compliment about that. Hard to say. She still does want to dance, and the chat decided that we were going to dance with her. Yep, this is pretty much how it went last time. And the chat remembered how it went last time. This is what leads to the sauna. However, we also know that if we go to the sauna with Mia, Vito will be very put out with us. And we do want to try to talk to Vito, since we are investigating him now. So the chat decided to go red. Maybe we're not enjoying dancing with Mia all that much.
So what do you say? Want to work up a real sweat? The health club's open. Want to take a sauna?
The chat was very much against taking a sauna with Mia, if for no other reason that we know that Vito will be angry. Some of them wanted to see if we could go into the sauna and get a different result than the first stream. However, most did not want to risk it. So we say no. No, we don't want to go to the sauna with you, Mia. Apparently, if we weren't going to go to the sauna with her, she had no use for us. Just thrown away as she went looking for someone else. But alright. Okay. We now have a dome. And we have a mission. Investigate Vito. And his potential cult or cults or drugs, whatever it is he has or is doing, we're not really sure. So let's talk to the man.
Stop me if you've heard this one. A total stranger goes into a private party after midnight looking for some kicks. And he meets the host, a dashing world-famous artist. And the host says to him, "What are you doing here?" And the stranger says,
Green? Well, it's hard to say what the correct response is going to be. This is a different thing than what Vito's told us in the first stream when we didn't have a dome. He pointed that out. But we do have one now. And now he's, I'm not sure whether you would be calling this friendly or mildly hostile. However, he wants to know what we have to say. The chat decided that we were going to go green, try to be friendly with him. Doesn't seem like a guy we want to make enemies with. And then I made a mistake, and I kind of clicked the edge of the screen, and we left the conversation, and then Vito's not there anymore. Okay, so we couldn't have that, so I had to restart the third mode event, go through the choices we made to get back to Vito, because we were definitely going to talk to Vito. We got this dome to talk to Vito. We avoided going to the sauna with Mia to talk to Vito. We want to talk to Vito. And I kind of made a mistake. So, next time on Let's Play Mode, we're going to start where we left off right here. And we are going to finally have a real conversation with Vito Brevis, the host of the mode event, and see what he has to say for himself. Try to get to know him. See you then.